Hello everyone. Today we're going to begin our health unit on personal and community health. Think about what being healthy means to you. Take a minute and open your guided notes document and jot down 3 or 4 thoughts as to what being healthy means to you. Look at your responses and see if you see any similarities. If you do see similarities, what categories would you use to describe those thoughts that you wrote down? So, what would be the name of a category that you could put your thoughts into? You might consider some of these categories, such as things that you can do yourself, or things that you've seen others do, and what you might want to do. So in terms of being healthy, maybe things you can do yourself in terms of eating nutritiously, things you've seen others do. Maybe they've participated in a 5K race and you think that's something that's part of being healthy. And then also things that you want to do. Do you have personal goals in order to get more healthy? Throughout our learning within this unit, we'll be learning how to promote healthy behaviors not only at home, but also at school and in our community by learning how to make healthy decisions about nutrition, physical activity, and community health. In order to improve health and wellness at home, school, and community, we must first gain an understanding of what health and wellness truly mean. An individual's health contains many different components or parts, as we discussed earlier in our activity when you were brainstorming. Wellness is achieved when a person achieves health and many different components. One way to define wellness is a person meeting optimal levels in each of the 4 dimensions of health. The 4 dimensions of health are physical health, emotional health, social health, and environmental health. All of these components need to be achieved for a person to achieve overall wellness. Let's take a moment to look at each of these dimensions individually. Starting with physical health. This is going to tell us how well your body functions. The way to achieve optimal health and physical health is through eating right, exercising, and abstaining from the use of alcohol, tobacco, and other drug use. You also should take part of regular checkups by accessing the appropriate medical care available to you. Next is emotional health. And this includes the awareness and acceptance of one's feelings, the capacity to manage your own feelings. So when you get angry, how do you deal with that anger? Realistic assessment of your own limitations, understanding, what types of emotions you can handle versus what type of emotions you need to reach out for help. Ability to effectively cope with stress. So when all your teachers pile tests on in the same week, how do you deal with that stress? Maintaining satisfying relationships with others. So do you keep healthy friendships around? Do you have a positive relationship with your parents? Are you able to communicate effectively with them? Also, the awareness and acceptance of a wider range of feelings in yourself and in others. So not only are you aware of your own feelings, but can you notice when your friends are sad or happy or feeling a little stressed out? And do you have the ability to express and effectively manage feelings? So are you able to express your feelings and then find your words to describe how you're feeling? Next is social health. And this is where we initiate better communication with those around us. Ability to make choices to enhance personal relationships and important friendships. So what types of choices that you could do to make your friends, feel better. Maybe they're down and you write them a special note to, cheer them up or tell them a funny joke or something like that. These are choices that you can do to enhance those relationships. For your family, maybe you do some extra chores around the house to help show your parents your appreciation. Another one is that we want to look at our community, and that includes our school community at Rocky Run, but also our Chantilly community. And how are we making that a better living space and contributing to the community in a way to keep it healthy? And that brings us to environmental health. We need to encourage contributing to our own environment and our community. So putting the trash where it belongs and not littering. Recycling your recyclable materials in your home and not throwing them in the waste and garbage for the garbage man to take away to the landfill. Recognizing personal responsibility for quality of air, water, and land around us. Being careful of the items that are added to the soil, which would wash into our waterways, and riding our bike versus getting parents to drop us off at school. That'll help with the quality of air. We reduce the pollutants that are going into the air. And lastly, ability to positively impact the environment. So thinking about that environment, how can we impact that environment and to make it a better place? All dimensions that we've discussed here, all 4 dimensions, are woven together to create wellness. At the center of the diagram here, you see that the dimensions of health is centered by decision making and problem solving. So why do you think that is? Why do you think healthy decision making is the center of the diamond shape that connects all 4 dimensions of health? Take a moment in your guided notes and jot down your thoughts there. So one reason is that health and wellness require us to make decisions every day, and those decisions have an impact on our health. Think about all the decisions that you've already made today. It might even be something as simple as, what am I eating for breakfast? This is about your personal health, right? How is your decision this morning and your breakfast choice impacting you right now in school? Some decisions are easy to make, while others take a little bit more careful thought and consideration. In order to make decisions that lead us to healthy behaviors, it's important for us to use this process to determine the best and healthiest decision. So when we're using this decision-making process, there's 5 simple steps to think about. So for instance, number 1, identify the decision to be made. Maybe that decision is, again, what to have for breakfast. Then you would start by listing all the possible options. That might include bacon and eggs, or a bowl of oatmeal, maybe a blueberry muffin, or maybe you just skip breakfast altogether. Then you would evaluate the pros and cons of all possible decisions using the criteria. Is it safe? Is it healthful? Is it legal, responsible, and respectful? So in this case about breakfast, we're probably looking more at, is it healthful? If so, then that would help you make that decision. So choosing to not eat breakfast is not healthful. So this decision-making process can help you decide against that choice and then look at the other 3 and consider what they have to offer. The 4th step is making your decision. And then finally, at the end, and you would see how that decision works out, how you feel during the day. Did that breakfast keep you full until lunchtime, or were you hungry an hour later? Then you can take those results and reflect on what you felt, and then evaluate that decision. Was it a good decision after all, or do you think maybe you could have made a better choice? You might find that some parts of decision-making process to be a little bit more difficult than others. You also might think about some things that could impact your decision-making process, such as peer influence. Our decisions are not always as easy when we're trying to make a decision and we're worried about how our peers are going to feel about that decision-making process and the result that we came with our choice. After this video, you're going to practice applying your decision-making skills with some activities. So as we discussed, we make decisions on a daily basis, which can influence each of the dimensions of health. Our next lesson will detail healthy behaviors that individuals and communities can engage in order to promote the health and wellness. We will discuss the need for the amounts of sleep, good nutrition, being physically active, in order to help maintain that wellness and experience the many benefits that exist when you lead a healthy lifestyle. So after you complete the rest of the lesson activities that are on the Google site, you're going to return to Google Classroom and complete the exit ticket described here. Once you get to Google Classroom, the exit ticket will have the question, which dimension of health do you feel is most important? There's not a right or wrong answer here. Each of you are probably going to feel differently about which dimension that you think is the most important. All I ask is that you choose one of those four and then give me some reasons why. Back it up. Look back over the notes and see what each of those dimensions incorporates, and then why you think that's the most important one, and then explain that with those supporting details. So at this time, you're going to finish your guided notes. You're going to submit that you're all done, and then you're going to move on down through the rest of the activities on the Google site. Again, once you finish the activities on this Lesson 1 site page, then you're going to go to Google Classroom and complete your exit ticket. And then you will be done with this lesson. Thank you so much.